the comics on time, too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody, we're back at Tucson Comic Con. This is Mercury, your home for podcasting and pop culture news. We've been live all weekend long, and I am super, super excited because right now we are going to sit down with Brian Pulido, the creator of Lady Death and founder of Coffin Comics. And beyond the incredible stories and characters, Brian has become a trailblazer in the comic book industry. And I want to thank you so much for giving us this time to sit down and talk with you. I think a good place for us to start, for anybody that doesn't know, if you could just give a rundown of your journey in comics, how you created Coffin Comics, and maybe a little bit about Lady Death and some of your other projects.
Well, sure, that's quite a journey.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually entering my 34th year of comics publishing and creation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I started out as a guy who loved comics and collected them. And I thought to bring my stories to life, comics would be the best possible vehicle. So in as early as June of 1993, I launched my first comic called Evil Ernie the Resurrection.
Nice.
That was actually a sequel to another Ernie story called Youth Gone Wild, which was published by Malibu Graphics.
Nice.
So I just found this wonderful freedom. I love that comics, the stories themselves have no budget, so to speak, and you could just let your imagination run wild. And now we find ourselves 34 years later and thousands of comics and products released.
So how did, what was the story behind calling it Coffin Comics?
Very simply, my first comic book company was called Chaos Comics, and I had a Webster's American Dictionary, and I just started going through every page, and I would say to myself, which word is cool?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
There you
so,
go.
so I got to Coffin. That was it. I'm like, okay, that fits. That describes it.
Yeah. Now, yesterday we had Sapphire Nova, who is a cosplayer, and she was cosplaying Lady Death. Lady Death, I think, is one of your most memorable comics, at least for me.
Sure.
I guess when you see Lady Death, you know that you're seeing Lady Death, right?
Yeah.
Very distinct look.
So what's the story, or what was the inspiration behind Lady Death and how that came to be?
So Lady Death was inspired first by a character I created called Evil Ernie. I got a note from someone who read an early draft of Evil Ernie and said, he doesn't seem to have any motivation. So I took that note and said, okay, what am I going to do? And I decided to turn Evil Ernie's story into a romance. And I said to myself, what is Evil Ernie's idea of the ideal woman? And I started crafting from there. So she was idealized feminine form, very, very pale. And I was inspired in part by the Gothic queens of the day, which would be Vampira, Lily Munster. But I wanted my character to be utterly pale. So a lot of those goth ladies have the dark hair, dark nails. I said, let's go for complete absence of colors, no pupils, no color. And so Lady Death began as Evil Ernie's ideal woman.
Wow, nice. So with the story with Lady Death, and that era, do you still? So those comics are still being published today. Are you involved with the day-to-day of those storylines still at Coffin Comics?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you go in every day and you have the illustrators and everybody. Do you do the illustrations or do the storylines, or what does that process look like now since Coffin Comics has become larger over these over the last couple decades?
Although larger, I do head up the editorial department. Everything that comes in, I'm part of the decision making. So myself and a guy named Mike McLean write all the stories. We get together in a room, and I'm usually the leader of most of the stories and say this is the general area. Then either he or I do a outline, and then from there we actually then write a draft of a script, and we go back and forth. And we're very complementary in terms of our style. Now, once a story's done, we assign it to an artist, and we have many artists that are on contract with us. So they'll turn in anywhere from 2 to 4 pages a day, so, a week.
Wow.
Oh, no, they're killing it if they're
Yeah,
right. They're pretty sketchy looking. But so every day of the week we're receiving covers, interior pages, and then we move them forward in the process. They then have to be lettered, colored, all that. And that's happening. We operate our company 4 days a week, 10 hours a day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a lot to handle, a lot of moving parts.
It is. So imagine we are creating or formulating or executing stuff that could be up
Yeah.
to 2 years from now.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah.
now I know when we spoke, and this is where I think Joey wants to get in and dive deep with you. When we spoke the other day, I think it was on the first day on Friday, when we spoke, you had mentioned that you had been dominating the Kickstarter space for 14 years. You've been doing
Well,
it, or
10,
even
I
long-
think, 10 or 11,
10 or
yeah.
11 years. But now you're deciding to move away from doing the crowdfunding on Kickstarter, and you are about to launch your own platform that is a crowdfunding platform.
Yes, so for over the course of 10 or 11 seasons, we did about 47 Kickstarters for comics, generating over $12.5 million for a comic book
I know,
project.
that's
wow.
amazing.
Yeah,
It's radical.
Yeah.
And that's been life-changing. It's allowed us to, the capital has allowed us to do all kinds of ridiculous, audacious things that really benefit our readers and our fans and our collectors.
Yeah.
But this year, it's true. We actually decided that we would spin off our own crowdfunding platform, which we built in most of 2024. So in February of this year, we launched our first Coffin launch crowdfunding project, which was a Lady Death one called Savage Rain. As you and I speak, we are crowdfunding our 5th project.
Wow.
So, and that's called Lady Death Immortal Deception. It's occurring right as we speak. It closes next Friday.
Wow.
So yeah, we just crank away.
Can you let them know where they can find that?
So if you go to coffinlaunch.com, that is the hub of all of our crowdfunding. It talks
Okay.
about what's current, what's coming up, and what is closed.
Nice.
I have a question. So,
Yeah.
is this with this new space? Is it going to be open up to other creators, or is it just going to be just for Lady Death?
It's just for Coffin Comics
Okay.
use, but hopefully perhaps it's inspiration for others.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. Kickstarter is incredible.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So, if you're not going to make your own crowdfunding platform and you don't think it's right for you,
Yeah.
Kickstarter is tremendous. One of the elements that are phenomenal is their discovery engine
Yeah.
that gets people's projects in front of others through recommendations.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yeah, they also do some amazing open calls too. That also pushes them up into the algorithm. They also send out really great newsletters out to people, especially if you're a super backer.
Right.
They put that into the forefront, push all those projects up to
Yes.
for you to be able to be seen.
Yeah, it's a tremendous platform. And in fact, although we moved our normal publishing to Kickstarter, we do have plans for giant collected editions and some collabs coming up to premiere them on Kickstarter.
So would you guys ever consider opening up to other creators?
I don't think it's in our mindset, to be candid with you. For whatever reason, I'm somewhat lone wolf.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's everything that we do is a creative outlet. So it's not as if I'm aspiring to go compete with Kickstarter. The idea of doing a crowdfunding platform was simply to service the stuff that we intend to put out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, me and Joey and we listened to you talk at a panel, I think in 2024 Comic-Con. I think you did a little crowdfunding or Kickstarter panel. I
Sure.
think it was 2024. And one of the things that you had talked about was how you utilize your Facebook and your social media to be going live on it. And that was one of the things, going live, posting on it, utilizing social media to push that. And that's how you would kind of drive the Kickstarter campaign. So is that process going to be the same with Coffin launch? Like, is that why it's going to be a good, I don't want to say an easy transition, but a successful transition over to doing Coffin launch, because you're still going to be doing all of that social media push. You're just going to be driving them somewhere else.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I would say that we believe that the mailing list is the #1 driver.
Yeah.
Okay.
So social media is supportive, but we believe in mailing
Got it.
list. So what we're always looking to do is to acquire new customers, get them on our mailing list, and to become the customer.
Got it.
So yes, using Coffin Launch, that has required us to really redouble our efforts in that area to achieve new customers. Right? We have the established customers. We have the normal attrition that occurs in the hobby. People come, people go. But another element of our business is we do 26 direct-to-customer promotions per year, separate from our crowdfunding.
Which is part of that mailing list. And I'm on that mailing list, and I get a bunch of those really amazing things. And talk to us a little bit more about what you do with that mailing list in particular.
Well, what we do is it's a vehicle for communication. So on Monday and Tuesday, we get the overall weekly newsletter. But then on a daily basis, we're highlighting either products or experiences or upcoming activities of Coffin Comics. We do communicate daily.
Yeah. And you guys also send out some exclusives through that
Absolutely.
source as well, which is amazing. Which is also another way for people to sign up and discover some of these things.
Yeah, and if you're interested in our store, it's coffincomicsshop.com. We encourage it. In fact,
Yeah.
right now as we speak, Coffin Comics is celebrating its 18th anniversary.
Wow.
And we're
Fantastic.
extending 18% off our store
There you go.
through the
Nice.
Labor Day weekend.
And
That's
what
awesome.
can you give them the website again?
www.coffincomicsshop.com.
All right.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Brian, I know that we're coming up on a little bit of our time here. We wanted to definitely be mindful of your time since, again, you are out here. So what are some of the things that you're doing right now at Tucson Comic Con? I've seen you walk around. You've come and been very kind to at least us here at the booth. I'm imagining you're going and talking to the booths, or like I see you walking around. What is that, and what are you doing, and what does that
So
encompass?
what you're referring to is
Yeah.
the reason I'm here at Tucson Comic Con is I own this convention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Along with Francisco Polito and Teresita Olivares.
Yeah.
But my daily accountability is where's trouble?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
What fire you
so
gotta
you're
put out?
you're going to put out fires.
Fires.
It sounds like.
Myself and/or Francisco or Carrie Ituzzi, Director of Operations, are also go-between between the convention center, the city, security, and our team. As we speak, there are about 85 people on our staff
That's
to
awesome.
operate the convention.
Fantastic.
So I might be speaking to key personnel in a given department. There's programming, there's guesting. And I think before I just stepped in to speak with you guys, what we were talking about is the exit,
Got
right?
Yeah.
So we have, there's all the
Yeah.
stuff that's in here.
That's
And
and
the
it's
fun
all
part.
got to go.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
And they got to do it in a timely fashion.
We have to. We like to get our materials, which is largely signage, things like our
Yeah.
merch,
Yeah.
etc. We want to be out the door in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But we, believe it or not, this whole place will be vacant by 11 p.m. tonight
Yeah.
Wow,
and
fantastic.
cleaned.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
That's awesome. Well, Brian, thank you so much. I do want to be mindful of your time. I really appreciate you.
I
making
do have
time
one
for
more
us.
question,
Yeah,
if I
absolutely.
can
Absolutely.
interject.
Let's
Go
rock
ahead,
it.
Joey.
So you do amazing things for creators, creative space in the direct market and the Kickstarter space. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who is looking to get into crowdfunding or to create their space? Because the market is crazy now. We got the shakeup in the direct market,
Correct.
with the Diamond. We got all these different people that are kind of coming out of the woodwork, trying to
Yeah.
find a space to
Yes.
fill. So what would you give as advice to somebody trying to get into that?
Sure, it's a very disruptive time in comics, but there's a lot of opportunity. And the
Yeah.
opportunity lies in the creator and their hustle.
Yeah.
So I think even before a person is going to go crowdfund, you need to begin to develop a reader base and a relationship to a group of people who may enjoy your
Yeah.
stuff. So that includes definitely building the mailing list. That could be, and you could do that by going to conventions, asking people to sign up on your own social media.
Giveaways?
Pardon me?
Giveaways?
Giveaways. You could share your aspirational journey on social media, then ask people to sign up. There
Yeah.
might be raffles for original art. And the idea is just to create excitement and engagement.
Yeah.
Even the biggest comic creators have a hard time competing with the maxi marketing that's going on, whether it's entertainment studios with the massive dollars, tech or whatever. But I find the best way to do it is actually to share your journey, be excited.
Yeah.
If you're excited, the other people are
People
going to
get
be excited.
Yeah.
If you're going to shoegaze and look down, you're going to have a hard
Yeah.
time.
I always tell everybody, the best, the one thing that is best about marketing is word of mouth. Like
Yep.
it is still
Sure.
the one avenue that is going to get you to close that deal.
Yeah.
It's true, and I've been a real beneficiary of that for years.
Yeah.
Just good word of mouth, people feeling good about our company,
Yeah.
what we put out, all that stuff.
And just talking about your creative, avenues and the things that you have created along the years, and getting people to pull them in with that story helps them to connect with your characters
Yeah.
and yours and what you're doing. And I think
Yeah.
you guys with this space here and all the things that you guys have done and created this new space with this crowdfunding and also boosting, helping getting more awareness with the crowdfunding space.
Sure.
Right? Because now that's a whole brand new revenue that people can use.
Yeah,
to
probably
do that.
unbeknownst to a lot of people is I definitely consult freely of my time.
Yeah.
I've actually consulted on some pretty
amazing.
cool Kickstarter projects. The Keanu Reeves Berserker, I consulted
Cool.
with Boom. I consulted with the guys for Fathom, all kinds of stuff. But met Jim Mahfood. I think he's doing a great job on his own thing. And I said, dude, I'm available if you want me to review your kick or
Very
whatever.
cool. Very
That's
cool. Very
awesome.
cool.
All right,
Yeah, thank
any
you.
last final words that you want to shoot out to the camera, Brian?
Well, I want to thank you so much for being here
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
Tucson Comic Con 2025. Please come back. And
We
also
will.
want to thank each and every one of you out there for watching. And if you're interested in more information about what we're up to at Coffin Comics, easily go to coffincomics.com, sign up to our mailing list, or if you're interested in our crowdfunding, go to coffinlaunch.com, and we are live, baby. So thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian. And again, you've been watching Mercury, your home for podcasting and other pop culture news. In about 20 minutes, we're going to be doing a live demonstration with Kingdoms Unbound Legends of Kime. So you'll be able to get to know how to play that game, all about how they created the game, and then where to find it so you can get Kingdoms Unbound as well. And we will see you soon.
Don't forget, we are also running a raffle for a Nintendo Switch 2.
Whoa.
So if you guys want to come over here and get your ticket, $3 gets you one ticket,
Wow.
10 for 25.
Whoa.
And we're going to be running that here in the next couple hours. So make sure you guys get your tickets.
Absolutely. And again, thank you, Joey. Thank you, Brian. I
Thank
appreciate you. Again, my name's Jeremy. As I always say, be thankful, grateful, and kind. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Holler at